Welcome to Talent Instinct, an electrifying space where we dive into how construction business owners revamp their hunt for top-tier talent by instinctivizing their efforts. It's time to spice up relying on systems and processes and discover prime insights on how to smartly apply their most important aspect, their instinct, as well as intellect, to pinpoint individuals who don't just fit in, but flourish. Let's face it, making the right hire for your business has never been more paramount. The stakes of the wrong hire can disrupt performance, profit, culture, and succession planning. Talent Instinct isn't about playing it safe. It's about conquering with calculated instinct. Today in episode 4, I'm going to share with you what I'm hearing so much on the ground about bad attitudes of workers and how everyone is simply jack of the criticizers and the complainers and the entitlement that some people are feeling, with work today, and how much, the attitude of people has changed, going from, feeling lucky to have a job to that they're entitled to have it, and that, we're lucky to have them working for us. So whether you employ or work alongside them, I'll cover off some examples and how to use your instinct at the beginning to read personality traits that just won't work for you, your client, or your teams. I thought that what I'd do is I'm going to go through some of these stories, and I really want to set the scene first so you have a good idea of what's happening on the ground. So I've had a week. We all came back from, a long weekend. Happens every long weekend. Is happening forever. Anyway, everybody I've spoken to, just it's a nightmare this week. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've come across this week with staff. Some of it's people deciding that they're a general labourer. And, they've turned up to site, even though I've told them what the job is. They know what it is. And then now they've decided that the job's not for them and they're going to whinge about it. I've got to be honest with you. My patience is thin this week. I'm sure we've all experienced it. I'm sure every single person has gone through what I've been through this week. So normally I'm all yay, all positive, everything. But this time I'm gonna get real. So the guy turns up to work and he starts complaining about his pay rate. So long and short of it, we finish him up. Because again, I've spoken about this in the previous episodes. Like, when's the time to we just get rid of people? This is a no-brainer. Time to get rid of him. So he turns up to work and is complaining that, he's not getting paid enough and he's probably going to go look for another job. Not going to lie, again, my patience has been worn a bit thin this week. He asked me for some feedback, so I told him the feedback. His attitude sucks. And it sucks because of what he was saying on his first day of work. And it's not the impression that, you want to make to anyone. And he turned around and went, why? What's wrong with that? I am gobsmacked that people do this. Obviously they do, because it happens. It's not my first rodeo. Then secondly, another situation. This guy doesn't even know that we've been waiting for someone else to start. He's been with me for 2 weeks and he decided to come and ask me for a pay rise. For what? What? I will reward anyone that is doing well. But who do you think you are after 2 weeks, after just being a general labourer, to ask for a pay rise? Another guy, see, I told you guys I am on fire this week. Another guy has decided that, after working with my client for 3 days, he should be a supervisor and is God's gift to the world. Of course, he's not. And, it's decided when I asked him how, or why he thinks he deserves a pay rise, he can't answer me. He just proceeded to say, but I'm great. I'm so good. I know my worth. Okay, cool. If you know your worth, how about you let me in? I'd like to know your worth too. I'm open, guys. I'm open to, great people. We're all looking for the cream of the crop, for the best people. But if you cannot tell me why or what duties you're doing on site that makes you a great person and you deserve a pay rise, and you don't turn up with an A grade attitude, what do you expect to happen? I would love to know, because clearly the entitlement that we are, experiencing at the moment. I'm not the first one to say this. I'm sure, again, we're all thinking it. Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to call a spade this week. I hope everyone listening is either shaking their head or nodding their head, I should say, and are like all about this. I really hope that everybody is having a good laugh to themselves, because they know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I also know from talking to other clients this week that we're all experiencing the same thing. I will say, hold on to your hats, people, because it is going to get a lot better. And I have had amazing, candidates come through and people come through. And let me just say as well, any of my staff that I have that have proven themselves or, have a great attitude, I will 100% reward. I'll always look after them. I'll always make sure that they're okay. But they are always the ones that ask the least of me. And again, not saying like this is anything special. We all go through this. So let's get back to, one thing that I wanted to cover, and I spoke about in our my last podcast. How long do you, or what kind of chances do you give people till it's time to say, okay, time to go? Like, let's just, it's time to replace someone. And I know that really what's been really difficult, or something that's been really hard to manage over the past 2 years, is the amount of work, the attitude of people, and then how do we replace them and get someone that we, need to get the job done. It's been a juggling act, guys. Let's not pretend. We are exhausted. We're over people's attitude, and we want to see like what's going to change. We want the tables to turn just slightly to become a bit better and easier to, to hire people and to get better people, and for people to stop having this entitled attitude. I am sick of it. I'm done. And again, I know everyone else is too. I hope that everybody comments on this and you guys give me some feedback. Tell me your own stories. I want to hear them. I know that I'm saying some stuff that's, politically incorrect these days, but I don't care. I'm Jack. I want to hear everyone else and what they're going through as well. And I want to, hear, how long does it take you guys to decide that it's time to get rid of other people? I want to hear, because for me, I hear this, or, I look at people, and if I don't pick it up and pick up these, attitude traits from the get-go, and I also say to my clients all the time, can you please let me know what is going on site? I want to know, so because I don't want to deal with this crap anymore. I never have. I got to be honest. I never have. I've never ever dealt with this crap. I want to, make sure that if someone is not turning up and, coming to work and they're 10 minutes early, I tell every single person, be there 10 minutes early, have your vape, your smoke, do whatever you need to do. But when you're about to start work, you need to be ready to go. Make sure you have all your PPE. Make sure you have all your hand tools and everything else you need for the job on hand. It's the first great impression you can make. But again, I'm going to get back to, I'm going to roll it back now that I've said what I need to say. I'm going to roll it back a minute. Normally, when I'm talking to people, if we get their resume, we make sure that, we do the, let's say intellect side, and they are ticking all the boxes. And then we speak to them. Okay, yep, they sound good on the phone, all of that. Then we send them the registration. If they are not keen from the get go, if they are not easy to deal with from the get go, that is normally a great indication of what's going to come. I want to talk about giving second chances. People don't change. I mean, maybe circumstances do. And I will, they're all. As always, as much as I'm saying things like that are very blunt and, straight to the point and whatever, of course there's variations. Like there's slight ones, but then there's just ones that aren't. Like, you instinctively know that this is never going to work. You have to listen to it. So I know from the get-go if it's not going to be, smooth, if someone even doesn't know how to do the registration, they don't do it properly, that already shows to me like their attention to detail, what they're going to be like on site, that they haven't listened to what I've said properly, that they don't really give a shit, sorry for saying shit. But it really just shows like that they don't care, and if they don't care now, what's going to suddenly make them care when they get on site? If they don't, have the computer knowledge, or they're dyslexic or something, like there's a genuine reason, okay, we'll help them through. But there's people that are just lazy. And again, if they're lazy from the start, if they're showing these, these sort of habits and personality traits, it doesn't get better. It really doesn't. I'm just saying, if they're already asking for, for too much money, or like think they're God's gift to the job already, or overqualified or whatever, then they're not coming in with the right, attitude. They're not coming in with the attitude that I want to, make the best possible impression. I'm looking for a long-term job. Can't tell you how many times people at the moment are saying, I just want a full-time job. Okay, cool. Well, it could turn into a full-time job, but you have to turn up and make a great first impression for that door to even open. Conversations. Mate, it's really great that you want a full-time job. I'm going to provide you with this opportunity. This client, this company is looking for full-time people. I have never ever seen a company, if they find a great person, not make room for them. If you are good at your job, especially in the environment we're in, people will snap you up. So you've got to ask yourself, if, these people are jumping from job to job, can't hold one down, aren't, turning up on site and things like that, they're going to be the same. They don't change. Well, that's my rant today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you also picked up some great telltale signs on how I choose stuff and how I sort of read through, the instinctively, picking from the get-go how they are, and also some notes on if people are showing you that they have certain personality traits, read them, look at them, acknowledge them, because it is going to help you build the best possible team, and also make sure that you look after the team you have. Thanks for listening to Talent Instinct. I'm Chantal Penny, and if you want more razor sharp insider info on instinctivizing your hiring game, then hit the subscribe button. Oh, and remember to drop a killer rating and review. Please don't hold back. Spread the news to fellow construction business owners too. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and soak up all of my content, please do so by stalking us on Talent Instinct and my brainchild Siteforce Recruitment on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.